Right, so I've got a bit of a special video today and possibly a brand new series on this channel. Right here, I've got a red Mitsubishi Evo just behind me. I don't know what Evo it is, but yeah, it looks pretty glam. All I know from having driven the car is that it's a 5-speed manual. It's obviously a petrol engine. Size, I don't know. What else? It's got a rear spoiler. And yeah, that's about it. So pretty much I'm going to be finding out exactly what's under this car at the same time as you guys. What year this car was made in, I have no idea either. It's got nice wheels. I don't know a lot about cars, but I have owned previous cars and I do have a degree in mechanical engineering. Whether that means anything, probably doesn't. So I only picked up this Mitsubishi Evo 2 days ago, where it's been sitting in the middle of a field with nobody using it whatsoever. Thankfully it's been under a shutter and it hasn't been in the sun all day. But yeah, it's hardly been used, nobody's been driving it. When we picked it up, it was absolutely full of dirt. This still hasn't been cleaned properly. If you take a proper close look, there's still like marks here, if you can see. Yeah, you see these little white marks here, here and here. So it needs a proper clean. Like the windscreen, you could not see through it. It was so dirty, and you see there's like reminiscent marks of how dirty this windscreen was when we picked it up. I mean, it does look pretty nice from afar, but when you get closer to the car, you start seeing the imperfections, which nicely segues us into the exterior of the car. So yeah, starting off with the front fender. Front fender seems to be all right, but then we've got a bit of an issue here. You can see there's some damage. I don't know if that's cracked, but those are definitely chips there and there. And there's a crack in the paintwork here as well. This will probably need repainting. Actually, there's a chip here and here, and another one up here. The reason for these chips I will explain later in the video. But yeah, I don't know if this is an original front fender for the Mitsubishi Evo. See, the thing is, I have no idea about Mitsubishi Evos whatsoever. So this is my first ever time looking at one and inspecting one and driving one, really. I've never been in one. So yeah, that was the front fender. We'll move on to the door. Well, actually, from the front fender we go on to the skirt. So this skirt doesn't look like an original fit. This looks like a retro fit that someone's put on, because you can see these gaps here, and obviously these bolts that have been attached to the wheel arch. So yeah, up close it doesn't look great, especially that gap there. It'd be nice to be able to close off that gap, because you can see further down there isn't hardly much of a gap, but at the front there is. And then we've got this bit here. I don't like what's going on here. Look, there's like clear holes which you can see. That rivet's definitely missing. I think that one's still there, but it's been damaged, and so it's now white rather than red. I think this is what it's supposed to look like this, but again, can we try and find one in mint condition? I think the only one that's of a decent condition is that one there, near the fuel cap. Gosh, this ain't in focus. But yeah, rear door. Okay. Does it open normally like that? Yeah, okay, cool. That's the rear door opening there. Oof. Jesus Christ. Back closes nicely. So yeah, again, this kind of like bulky wheel arch that comes out, I don't think was part of the original car yet, at least. Obviously it's been retrofitted again, because this is the original bodywork, and this has just been added, I guess, to make the exterior part of the car more beefier. I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, it does look good from a distance again, but when you get close up to it, it kind of feels like a bit cheap. But anyway, that gap there between this portion of the panel and here, quite significant. Anyway, we'll move to the back of the car. That spoiler is absolutely beast-like. It's huge. Just for scale, like, it's about 2 large fists vertically upwards. Obviously, I think it still retains its old original lamps and lighting, so that's nice. That's really nice. I think this part of the rear bumper is actually still the original bumper. Yes, it is. This is the original bumper of it. This bit here, I don't know if it's original. Oh, well, it looks like it's all one component actually. Yeah, so this here seems like the original bumper. But I'm looking here and I can see a kind of gap, so I don't know if this kind of like rear bumper skirt has been added on additionally. It might have stopped up here, but I'm not 100% sure. I'd have to look at other Mitsubishi Evos to get a proper understanding for it. How do we move on to this side? I guess this rear wheel arch is in better condition to a certain extent. The rivets look all right here. Actually, none of the rivets are missing here, which is good. All it needs is some touch-up paint. But I just want to compare it quickly to this side. Yeah, the reason for this gap is due to the fuel cap here. Wow, we almost forgot to talk about the exhaust. Look how big the exhaust is here. It's pretty good. It's a fat exhaust. What's the diameter of that? It's about my fist. And so we'll move along the car again on the left side. Yes, again, the panel here, not great, is it? It's pretty tight here, hardly any gap, but here there's quite a significant gap. Mirrors are absolutely tiny on the Mitsubishi Evo. They're so small. Look, they're about that big. When you compare it to modern day cars, they're tiny. So left fender is looking alright as well. This doesn't look like it has as much damage in comparison to its right hand side, so that's alright. It's got a few marks there. So left hand side fender is okay. The doors are fine. Actually, we didn't check this door. Oh wow, that doesn't open. Okay, I'm scared to open it, so I'm not going to open that. It might be locked. So, at the front of the car, pretty nice looking. It's got this sort of air intake. Whether this is actually functional or just for design, I'm not sure. I reckon it's just for design. Same thing with this little bit here. Just looks really nice. This front bumper, I don't know if it's an original front bumper. The panel gaps look a little bit off. Like, look at that. I can fit my finger through that. But yeah, it does look really nice. If this was all to be cleaned out, this would look super slick. But yeah, this is the condenser here, I would assume. You can see some of the wiring there. And it says tuned by who? By Greedy. I have no idea who that is. The front bumper isn't in bad shape. There are a few scratches here. Again, that's going to need some paint touch up, and a bit here as well. So yeah, and it really needs a deep clean, I would say. A deep clean with a nice polish. This front number plate, I don't really like it. It's a bit floppy. I would try and probably replace that. The reason I say that is because when the car is on, it just vibrates like this, and it just makes the whole bumper look very flimsy. But actually, the bumper is pretty solid. Now moving on to the wheels. So we've got Continentals on all four wheels. What is the rim size on this? Trying to have a look at the rim size here. Okay. So the rim size is 17-inch, I would believe. 17-inch alloys. Yeah, it's decent. I do like the brake calipers. Oh, the brake calipers are actually from Mitsubishi, which is pretty cool. Original brake calipers, hopefully. The brake discs, yeah, they look like they're kind of like sports brakes. Even the brake calipers do as well. I'm not sure whether that's a 2-cylinder brake caliper or not. I think it is. A 2-piston brake caliper, sorry. But the wheels look nice. They look in pretty good shape. There's some little scratches here and there, but I don't think it warrants a respray. I think these have been sprayed to this colour. Looks pretty nice though. Yeah, they all look in pretty decent condition. Obviously the back disc brakes don't look so great. They're not very sporty either, but it's okay. And what about this side? Yeah, same on this side. Oh, is it missing the cap? I don't know. Or is it like that? Oh yeah, I think they're all like that. And yeah, again, same as the other side. Decent condition. Oh, the paint here does look like it's coming a little bit off, but we won't touch that. So yeah, that's pretty much the exterior of the car. We've got this sunroof up here as well. It's alright. The wing is nice. The wing is in pretty good shape. That's been fitted on pretty nicely. I don't like the fact that you can see this kind of like little grey outline. I don't know if that's just accumulation of dust or whether it's or whether the paint has come off. I think it's just a seal. So can you see my face? I just want to show you how hot it is. You see, I've got drips of sweat pouring down just by walking around this car and filming it and documenting it. So I'm occasionally having to go inside to cool myself down on the aircon and then stepping back outside. Alright, so I've momentarily stepped back inside just to wipe my sweat off because it's absolutely baking outside and I'm cooling down with a bit of air conditioning on. Right, so I'm back outside and we've pretty much finished with the exterior of the car. Driving this thing down was quite the experience. First of all, it's an absolute pleasure to drive. Everything just feels so clunky and old and mechanical, but there's so much feedback at the same time, and it's very quick. It's really quick. The steering is so accurate and very nimble. When you turn the corners, it just responds the way you want it to. The power is good. The throttle response is good. There are a few problems with this car, like I mentioned previously, with the battery pretty much being dead. So driving it here kept cutting off, even on the motorway, which was kind of dangerous because you'd switch from gear 3 to gear 4, and in the process, the engine would cut off if you allowed the revs to get really low. And so the steering wheel would lock up completely. The only way you could start it up again is if you turn the ignition on again, or you allow the clutch to engage back in, which starts the car and the engine again. I mean, it is a 20-year-old car and it has been sitting there for absolutely ages without anybody using it. There is a bit of an issue, and I'm not sure if it's in relation to the turbo, but when it gets to around about 3,000 to 4,000 revs, there seems to be a bit of a jumpiness to it. I'm not sure if that's got something to do with the actual exhaust, or whether it's got something to do with the turbo or the engine. We'll just have to figure that out later on. And then there are a few more issues as well. So when going at speeds, right, getting to around about 100 kilometers per hour, 120 kilometers per hour, the steering starts to shake, and I think that would probably be an alignment issue with the wheels, or it could be that the wheels need aligning themselves. Balancing themselves. And as for braking, yeah, it's pretty bad. It felt very dangerous when braking this car, because the moment I touched upon the brakes, the steering wheel started shaking, and I reckon it's because of the front discs right here. Usually when you get a steering shake from pressing the brakes, it's due to the front discs being warped. And discs being warped can be because of wear and tear, old age, and also because of the heat generated from braking that causes discs to warp and distort, which then causes the steering to wobble around when braking. But honestly, as soon as I touched the brakes, it felt like I was just going to go into something. So yeah, those brakes definitely need changing. But with new disc brakes, we might as well possibly get new brake pads as well, because the brake pads would have been warped in the shape of the disc. So I'm just trying to think of any other things that I noticed when driving this car. Oh, and speaking of the brakes, the handbrake is in pretty bad condition too. I literally have to pull it all the way up to its maximum position to be able to just keep this car stationary. One kind of click down on the handbrake, just a small click, right, on the ratchet would literally cause this car to start slipping forwards. So that's not good. And because we're kind of like banked on a bit of an angle here at the front of the house, yeah, it's kind of dangerous for this car to go into that gate just there. So what I need to do is I need to really pull up the handbrake as high as possible and put it into gear as well, just to prevent it from rolling off. The other thing is, when driving this car just normally, not even at high speeds, just normal speeds, you can hear a lot of squeaks and rattles in the car. I'm not sure if this car used to have an anti-roll bar previously fitted, but that would have helped. But I'm not really sure how to get rid of like the squeaks and the rattles, etc. I guess with the squeaks, you just can put some like kind of rubber or lubricant on it to stop the squeaking. Yeah, that needs fixing, because that is quite a headache in itself. But yeah, I think that's pretty much all the flaws that this car has when driving it. There's quite a few significant ones that we definitely need to check out and repair. But now we'll move on to the interior of the car. Right, so the car opens up vertically like this. What this little doll was doing on the handbrake, I have no idea. I'm just gonna have to slip that off and pop that there. Pretty much everything works in here, which is pretty good, considering it's a 20-year-old car. That beeping noise is very annoying, but the aircon works on here. Obviously that cassette's been retrofitted. I don't think there's a single electronic component in that car that doesn't work, which is very rare for a 20-year-old car. The seats here are these bride seats. I've never heard of it, but they're a sports seat. My ass can hardly fit in this seat. It's so narrow, especially this point here. I don't really like it, but you do get used to it after a while. I'm not really going to spend a lot of time on the interior here, as again I'm dripping full of sweat and I'm worried about the battery depleting because of that noise popping off there because of the doors being open. We'll just quickly open the back. See, the back doors open normally, so the way these doors open up vertically, again, is another retrofit. And is most likely the cause of this skirt having this sort of panel gap here. But it's 100% the cause of these chips, because the mechanism here that allows the doors to be lifted up vertically interferes with this front fender, causing it to chip away. Which I personally don't like. Come on, focus. There we go. Yeah, so we've got an issue here and here because of these doors. Personally, I would like for them to probably go back to the normal way, because just opening these doors up is really inconvenient and a bit stressful as well, knowing that it kind of deteriorates and damages the bodywork of this 20-year-old lovely Mitsubishi Evo. What you got, you boy? What you got, you boy? Huh? Yeah. You look interested, don't you? Huh? You look interested, yeah? Yeah. Man, it's quite a significant rust there. I'm not sure if you can see it. Yeah. But anyway, we've glanced over the interior of the car very quickly. We shall look at it in the near future. I don't know why this door doesn't open. I'm pretty sure it's locked. The other thing I do want to have a look at is under the bonnet. Huh? Oh my god, did I just break? No. Okay, thank god. Thought I broke that clip there. Okay. Come on. Oh, that's the boot. Shit. No, I don't want to open up the boot. Where's the bonnet? I want to look under the bonnet, see what's special with this engine, because boy, it does drive amazingly, and there's so much power. Oh, here we go. What an idiot. It's just there. Oh my god. Come on. I'm scared. I'm scared of... Yo, that won't budge open. I'm scared if I pull it any harder, it will break it. No, there's something wrong with that. There's something wrong with that. Right. Unfortunately, we're not going to take a look at it now. I'll try and film it later and possibly include it in this video, but I don't want to break that clip in case there's some sort of mechanism that I need to release under here. But there shouldn't be, but who knows. Because this car has had a lot of work done to it. So popping up the bonnet might not be the usual way of popping it up from the interior of the cabin. So anyway, let's pop the doors down. Just want to show you the sweat on me here. There we go. See all that sweat there? God damn it. It's hot out here, man. The temperature in Thailand is no joke. You gotta be really careful when pushing this door down. seems to have stopped the beeping noise. I don't know why it's only on the driver's side where you get that kind of beeping. Go away, mosquito. It's not even a mosquito, it's a fly. Get on. You might be wondering why I'm not shooting the video in the night, but my lens isn't great. What I'm using is a bloody kit lens on my Canon 80D, and so it produces a lot of noise at night, and it's very grainy. The image quality and the video quality is very poor, and so I have to shoot during the day when it's extremely hot outside. Right, so I now want to draw your attention to the sound that this Mitsubishi Evo produces. And the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to compare it to a normal car. The car which I'm comparing it to is this 4x4 diesel pickup truck. Yes, the diesel is going to be louder than the normal petrol engine, and it's going to sound a little bit crappier too because it's a diesel. But I just want to make the comparison of what this car sounds like to a normal car. And just be aware, I'm going to have to rev this car quite significantly at the beginning because of the flat battery issue. Otherwise the engine will cut off. So apologies to the people that it's going to hurt on revving this engine on the cold engine start. Anyway, let's go over to the 4x4. Right, so I'm going to try and maintain a similar distance on these cars. So let's take a look. How could we do an even distance here? So I'm right up against the front of the car, and I'm going to take about, I don't know, 5 steps forward, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's say 10, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, perfect. Just that line there. Right, so we're going to listen to how this car sounds like from the front. Okay, so that's what a normal car sounds like. Mind you, it is a diesel, so it will be louder than a petrol car, but all 4x4s are pretty much diesel, so this is the only other car that I have to compare it to. And we'll now do the same with the Mitsubishi Evo. Right, so keeping approximately the same distance between the car and the camera as we did with a 4x4, and we're going to see what this sounds like. First, we have the difficulty of getting it. And it's a bit of a challenge for me to get in as well because I'm so tall. I'm about 6'3", 6'4". This car is way too small for me, and these seats are way too narrow for my big ass. Bloody hell. Yeah. See, it's so easy to hit that front fender. But anyway, yeah, that's what it sounds like. You can see there's a lot of jerky motion with the engine, but so yeah, that's what it sounds like. I know I didn't rev the 4x4 the way I did with this Mitsubishi, but the 4x4 will nowhere near make the sound that the Mitsubishi made. So yeah, even if I rev it to like 3,000 RPM, which is pretty high for a diesel. Whereas the sound that you were hearing on that Mitsubishi Evo was in the 3,000 range. If I rev that thing to 6,000, 7,000, boy, it's going to be making insane amounts of noise. And it sounds really good as well. But yeah, it does need fixing, because you could hear the jerkiness of that engine. It was just like... So yeah, we need to look into that.
You're interested in my microphone, yeah? You're interested in my microphone, yeah? Yeah? You like my microphone? It's pretty hairy, isn't it? It's a dead cat. Wow, look at your eyes, mate.
So from where I last left off, I've given this car a little clean. You can see it shining really nicely right now. Basically all we did was wet it down with a pressure washer, put some shampoo on it, give it a little bit of a scrub, a gentle scrub, because the paintwork is pretty old and it is flaking off. So and then we took all the shampoo off, dried it up, cleaned the windows, and this is what it looks like now. Looks pretty decent, doesn't it? It's nice and shining now. There are again still a little few marks like this. Can you see that little white outline there? Probably needs a deeper clean, but for now it's okay. First clean since God knows when. But it's looking nice and fresh, and it's dazzling in the sunlight. So yeah, it's pretty decent. Much better than it was looking before. That's the back there. Nice. Cool. Well, this thing needs to get insured, because it's still not insured, and so we don't really want to be going out with it on the streets without no insurance, because first of all it's illegal, and second of all, if you get into an accident, your vehicle isn't covered. So hopefully we can whip up the insurance today, if not tomorrow, and we might look into trying to get the bonnet open later on today as well. If not, it'll have to be on a future video to see what's underneath that bonnet there. I think it's going to be pretty impressive, but who knows. If we don't manage to get that bonnet open later today, then it'll have to be in a future video. So yeah, I might have to basically cut the video here if I don't film anything later on. So yeah, I'll see you on a future video. Please subscribe, like the video, and follow me for more Mitsubishi Evo videos coming soon.